Have you ever felt like you're just a backup plan at work? The person they only call when everything's on fire, but otherwise, you're practically invisible. Well, get ready for a story about someone who was exactly that, and how she turned the tables in the most epic way possible. This story comes from a user who we'll call Clara. Clara was a specialist in a very niche, very complex legacy system at a large corporation. Think of a system so old and quirky that only a handful of people in the entire world truly understood its inner workings. Clara was one of them. For years, she was the go-to person. Whenever this critical system hit, she'd swoop in, work her magic, and save the day. The company's most profitable division depended entirely on this system, and by extension, on Clara. You'd think they'd treat her like gold, right? Wrong. Despite her crucial role, Clara was consistently overlooked. Promotions went to others. Her requests for a raise were denied, and her official title never reflected her actual importance. Her boss, let's call him Mr. Henderson, always said the same thing. The budget is tight. Clara, we appreciate you, but we just can't right now. Meanwhile, new hires in other departments were coming in with salaries far higher than hers. She was the company's emergency contact, but never their priority. Frustrated but loyal, Clara decided to create the ultimate safety net for the company. She spent months, on her own time, documenting every single detail of the legacy system. She wrote hundreds of pages of instructions, troubleshooting guides, flowcharts, and explanations for every error code imaginable. She poured her entire decade of knowledge into this binder, a comprehensive Bible for the system. She thought, if I ever get hit by a bus, they won't be completely lost. She made 2 copies, one for her desk and one for the company's technical library. One day, the company announced a big restructuring. You know what that means? A wave of layoffs swept through, and to Clara's absolute shock, her name was on the list. Mr. Henderson called her into his office. He couldn't even look her in the eye. He mumbled something about redundancy and modernizing the workforce. They were replacing her role with a junior employee who had a certification in a newer, more popular system, but zero experience with the old one. Clara was stunned. After all her years of dedication, they were tossing her aside for someone cheaper and, frankly, unqualified for the real work. As the security guard escorted her out, she packed her personal belongings. She saw her binder on the desk. A thought crossed her mind. This was her intellectual property, created on her own time. So, she picked it up and put it in her box. On her way out, she swung by the technical library and retrieved the second copy as well. No one noticed. No one cared. They were just focused on getting her out the door. The first few weeks were quiet. Clara started looking for a new job, enjoying the break. Then, she got a call. It was a panicked manager from her old company. Clara, the system is down. It's showing error code 74 Delta. We're losing millions by the hour. What do we do? Clara calmly replied, I'm sorry. I no longer work there. I'm afraid I can't help you. And she hung up. The calls kept coming. They were frantic. Her old colleagues, managers, even a vice president. They begged. They pleaded. The new junior employee was useless, staring blankly at the cryptic error messages. The entire division was at a standstill. Finally, Mr. Henderson himself called, his voice dripping with desperation. Clara, please. We need you. Name your price. We'll pay you anything. This was the moment she had been waiting for. Clara let him sweat for a moment, then replied coolly, All right, I can consult. My rate is $1,000 per hour, with a 4-hour minimum, paid up front, and that's my I remember your discount rate. There was a stunned silence on the other end of the line, followed by a defeated, Okay, we'll wire the money. Clara didn't even have to go in. She took the call from her living room, a cup of coffee in hand. She had them describe the problem, and she knew the solution instantly. It was a 5-minute fix, something she could have done in her sleep. She calmly walked him through the steps, listening to the sighs of relief as the system whirred back to life. She collected her $4,000 fee for about 10 minutes of actual work. And it didn't stop there. For the next 6 months, the company was on speed dial. Every time the old system acted up, which was often, they had to call Clara. Each call was another $4,000 invoice. She made more in those 6 months as a consultant than she had in her last 2 years as a full-time employee. They were paying a premium for the knowledge they had so casually thrown away. The best part? Clara had multiple job offers from other companies who were thrilled to find someone with her rare skill set. She eventually took a senior position at a competitor Salux for double her old salary, better benefits, and, most importantly, a team that respected her expertise from day one. Her old company eventually had to spend millions on a painful, multi-year project to migrate off the legacy system, something they should have done years ago with Clara leading the project. They tried to hire her back to lead it, but she just politely declined. The price of undervaluing your most critical people is steep. Clara wasn't just a backup. She was the foundation, and when they removed her, the whole house started to crumble. She didn't seek revenge. She simply charged them the market rate for the value they refused to recognize when she was on their payroll. And that, my friends, is the sweetest kind of corporate justice. What do you think? Was Clara right to take her documentation and charge them that much? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you have a story obstaculars of your own, I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories. See you in the next one.